Merry Christmas, one and all. And hello and welcome to The History Freak. Today, on this special video, we are going to be talking about Christmas. And we're going to be looking at the traditions of Christmas, focusing a lot on British traditions, because of course I am British, and looking at the history of some of our favourite things about Christmas. So, let's merrily crack on. Can you possibly imagine Christmas without a Christmas tree? Well, I can't. I love a Christmas tree. And it seems that the Christmas tree idea began in Germany around the 16th century, when as a Christian celebration, people had decorated trees in their homes. Well before this, though, there were earlier versions of the Christmas tree idea, going back possibly hundreds of years. People decorated their homes with pieces of tree, and had a big tree in a public place like a town square where everyone could see and enjoy. In Britain, the idea of a decorated tree in the home seems to have come much later, around the reign of Queen Victoria. The idea had already been popular with royals of Britain for some time. Victoria's husband Albert wanted to promote the idea of happy family values to the nation, and a picture of the royal family happily decorating a tree was published in 1848. The idea caught on in a big way, spreading through the classes of Britain. It seems that Victoria and Albert absolutely loved this tradition, and were keen to decorate the tree themselves rather than have servants do it. Something that's changed about the tree in modern times is how long it goes up before Christmas. It's thought that Victoria's tree only went up on Christmas Eve, while nowadays trees go up much earlier. And I'm not ashamed to say that my tree has been up since the end of November, and I have loved looking at it every day since. Now, who doesn't love a Christmas cracker? Well, I do. They are such a big part of the Christmas dinner experience. And it's said that this tradition began in London by sweetmaker Tom Smith. He started writing messages and having them wrapped in his sweets. Next, gifts replaced the sweets, and then this was followed by the crack sound that comes from pulling crackers. Smith's son added the paper crown, and the cracker was basically complete, although of course it has grown bigger over time. So I only found out quite recently that Christmas crackers are not more of a universal tradition. I guess I just assumed that they were, or I'd never really thought about it to be honest, but I know from some Americans who said they didn't really know what Christmas crackers were. I've since read that Christmas crackers are very big in Britain, as well supposedly as Commonwealth countries. So I'd love to hear from you guys listening to this from various parts of the world. Do you use Christmas crackers? And certainly if you don't, I would thoroughly recommend them. They're really good fun. Okay, next up, mistletoe. Now this is a really cute Christmas tradition for couples to have a cheeky kiss under the mistletoe. The tradition can be linked back to ancient times, when the plant was linked to fertility. It wasn't necessarily just used for Christmas either. Couples used it when they were married, and it was also placed around the home to represent peace, friendship and protection. In Britain, the tradition was very popular going back to the Victorian era and before, but for a young girl at a party, the mistletoe was no joke. Apparently, if she refused to kiss under the mistletoe, she would be expected to end up an old maid. Disaster! Okay, let's talk about carols. Now, carols have been sung for thousands of years, but it's thought they started being associated with Christmas around the 13th century. In Britain, Christmas carols were very popular. That is until the Puritans banned them around the 1640s. But people continued to sing them secretly. It's thought that the poor used carols as a way to receive food and money. One of my favourite Christmas carols is Silent Night. It has that warm, fuzzy vibe that I just love. The song is also very famous for its association with World War I and the famous 1914 Christmas truce. Supposedly encouraged by the singing of the song in both English and German, on Christmas Day, troops from both sides abandoned their fighting and met in no man's land to exchange gifts, socialise, and even play a game of football. How much is true about the Christmas Day truce is debated, But it's a really nice idea that in this war of utter madness and devastating loss of life, the song united all the men, even if just briefly. Since I first heard this story, it's really made me listen and enjoy this song in a whole new way. One of the highlights of Christmas Day has to be the Christmas dinner. I know for myself, I absolutely love it, and luckily for me, I'm in a family with a heap of really good cooks, so it's always a total treat. Now here in Britain, it's called Christmas dinner, but we usually eat it at lunchtime. Turkey is traditionally eaten, and it's thought this goes back to the legend himself, Henry VIII, who it seems was the first monarch to have it at Christmas. The idea of turkey at Christmas grew in England, and now it's as much part of the day as Santa Claus. Following the turkey comes Christmas pudding. Now, it upsets me every single year because I desperately want to love this pudding because I love everything to do with Christmas, but in fact, I just don't like it. But everyone else I know absolutely loves it. The big moment comes when the pudding is set on fire using brandy butter. The history behind this is that, with Christmas of course being a Christian celebration, the fire is to represent the Passion of Christ. There should traditionally be 13 ingredients in the pudding, and some put a coin inside, with the idea being that the person who finds the coin would get luck and wealth in the coming year. I would absolutely love to learn more about Christmas traditions from other parts of the world. So please feel free to put down in the comments any of the special traditions about Christmas that you love, and of course, the history behind it. Now, of course, the amazing thing about history is it never stops happening. And 2020 will, of course, be the year of the coronavirus. Years from now, people will learn about how people dealt with this virus and how they dealt with it at Christmas. So I'd just like to leave you now by saying, have a wonderful Christmas, be happy, be healthy, and have fun.